time to pass me that amazing beach ball over here? Thank you. Could somebody puncture that? I'm fed up of having to play for like you. You're a middle-aged man in a ridiculous hat. If that person was indeed who he said he was a garbage fan, I would never have spoken to him the way I did.
Yeah. What she said is objectively untrue. If that was a true fan, I wouldn't have spoken to them like that. They were a true fan, and you did speak to them like that. Huh? Hey guys, it's Briar, and let's chat about it. So yes, all the rumors are true. Currently in the Southern Hemisphere, it is summer. We do in fact have a summery Christmas, and currently our weather-related problems involve trying to not get sunburned and avoiding mosquito bites. And because it is summer, that also means that it is festival season here in Australia and New Zealand, and I'm assuming most of the Southern Hemisphere for those who celebrate. And so today's topic comes from an Australian alternative music festival known as Good Things. And well, to surmise the situation in a clickbaity sentence, a musician freaked out at a fan because they had a beach ball. Yeah. It's true, that did happen. It really truly went viral over socials. It started a lot of chitter chatter, and so I thought, why not take a crazy chance and bring it to you, the besties, to yap about this whole situation that went down at the Good Things Music Festival. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, yeah, stick around and let's get into it. So, state the obvious, but I'm clearly not a connoisseur in alternative music. Yes, of course, I felt like I uniquely related to Evanescence as a teenager, but I feel like that's kind of a canon event, regardless of your music preferences. And so, even though I do like some alternative music, I definitely wanted to disclaim off the bat that, like, I am definitely Ellie Goulding on the outside of this situation. I'm not like in the weeds, I'm not in these fandoms, so there could be things I miss. And if anyone is fans of these bands or has been to this music festival, would truly love your thoughts, your opinions, any kind of like insider scoop or knowledge that maybe I don't know. Yeah, would love to know it in the comments, but also wanted to state off the bat that, like, not an expert, but I did have a quick look into the music festival, and this is what their about says. Good Things Festival is an Australian alternative music festival, held annually in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane over one weekend each December. Established by a team of seasoned industry professionals who have promoted, booked and managed most of Australia's major music festivals over the past 20 years, Good Things aim to fill a gap in the market by showcasing the best local, national and international bands in world-class venues with high-level production. Sounds fun. It sounds like a classic music festival, and like from all the clips I saw, looked like everyone was having fun, looked like everyone was having a good time, and I'm sure I'm putting the kind of lineup promo pic there right now, but I guess probably the bands that most people would know is obviously Tool and Weezer. You may or may not know the other kind of artists going down the list, but I think what is important to note is that this festival happens at 3 locations, like they said, across a weekend, and the first location is Melbourne, as we can see. Friday, 5th of December, Melbourne, then Sydney, then Brisbane. And what we are about to talk about happened at Melbourne. So it happened at the first show, and that will become relevant later. I feel like the only other kind of potentially relevant information is that the tickets cost 270 Australian dollars. How much is that in the United States dollar? Okay, so that's around 180 United States doll hairs. Lots and lots of nickels for you. I would say that this pricing, yes, expensive, but probably not that out of the scope of what we see with a lot of festivals. I mean, festivals, let's be honest, are expensive. Festivals are more expensive than like a one-off concert, and obviously you're seeing lots of people, and I guess the thought is always, if you love like lots of these bands, like if you love like 5 or more of these bands, obviously that's a really great zeal. So that's kind of how, you know, we justify the cost, we do the girl math of it all. But yes, that is the price, and I do feel like that's kind of also relevant to note. So now that I've kind of introduced you to the music festival of it all and kind of how it works, I did want to introduce you to the band, and more specifically the singer slash musician in this band that didn't like the beach balls. Truly hates. Hate is a strong word, but she hates. The band is Garbage, and they are an American rock band, and they've been around since the 90s. They were kind of in the right under Weezer, like literally right under Weezer is Garbage. So I would say they're like right under the headlining act. So I would say that lots of people going to this concert festival would have been pretty excited for Garbage. And I feel like they're a pretty big deal. And because they've been around since the 90s, they have a really like long-standing and loyal fan base and followers. Like people have been going to their concerts and their gigs since the 90s. People have been fans of theirs for a really long time. So the singer in question is Shirley Ann Manson, born the 26th of August. Does that make her a Leo or a Virgo? I think Virgo. 1966, and she is a Scottish singer-songwriter. You will definitely hear the Scottish accent when we get to the situation. She has been the lead vocalist of the Garbage band. Sorry, I feel like if you say it wrong, it sounds like you're calling the band Garbage. Of the band Garbage, not of the Garbage band. I'm not calling the band Garbage. The band is called Garbage. Right. Okay, so she has been the lead vocalist of this band. So again, I think to highlight, she is a truly seasoned musician. And from what I could tell is like she is definitely a huge advocate and loves to speak out on topics that are really important to her. For a long time, she's been very vocal about feminist topics, things like that. So that's kind of the vibe of Garbage. That's kind of the vibe of Shirley. And that's kind of the vibe of Good Things Music Festival. And I'm really sorry, my brain wants to call it Good Times Music Festival. So if I say Good Times for some reason, just know I mean good things. I feel like that is the groundwork laid down like clockwork, only slightly chaotic clockwork. And so I think we should get into the Melbourne show where this all went down. As we can see, Garbage is right under Weezer, so they definitely play later on in the day. So there have been quite a few artists already play, and don't you guys even worry about it. I'm telling you all of this for a reason. Like truly, there's a purpose to this madness. There's a purpose to these yaps. But so let's go back to the beginning, back to Friday the 5th of December, where Garbage performed at the Good Things Festival in Melbourne. And let's now just simply watch what happened when Shirley saw one of her fans or someone in the audience playing with a gosh darn beach ball.
Now, while we're at it, would you be so kind to pass me that amazing beach ball over here? Thank you, darling angels, thank you. Could somebody puncture that? Yeah, I'm a joy. I'm a Debbie Downer. And beach balls at rock shows. Face. Oh, you're getting rid of the balloon now? Yeah, you big dudes. Wow, oh my god, you're so cool. It's just so outrageously cool. I can't get over it. Wow. It's disrespectful, and musicians have had enough. And we're fed up of not getting paid properly, and fed up of having to play for bags like you. You're a middle-aged man in a ridiculous hat, and you're a face, and I literally want to ask people to punch you in the face. But you know what? I'm a lady, so I won't. But if truly, I would love to send my crew over to mess you up, but you know what? I won't, because I pity you, because you're a small man with a small.
So yeah, she really did not hold back. She really hates beach balls, and this guy with the beach ball. And I feel like the first clip that I showed you, at first everyone's like hee and ha, she hates the beach ball. She's basically asking other fans to pop it, and it's like, okay, sure, a bit annoying, she didn't like it. But as we went into that second clip and she kept going on and having a go at this guy, Oh, it really got personal. It really got serious to the point of literally threatening violence. And as you can see, as you could hear from the crowd, everyone was like, haha, yeah, beach ball annoying. We get it. Haha, yeah. Artists should be paid appropriately, but also we paid $270 to be here. So, like, it's not like it was a free concert. It's not like people didn't pay a lot of money to go. But then when she started threatening violence against this guy, started like degrading him when he literally just had a beach ball, the tides turned really quickly. The vibe really quickly changed. As you could hear, people started booing. People were just like, this isn't actually funny anymore. Like, it's fine to find beach balls annoying and to, I guess, hate the beach because it's not, I don't know, you don't like it? I don't know. But it really did completely and utterly take a turn when she was threatening violence and when she was just being really like out of pocket and out of line to this guy that she does not know. And so, as I'm sure you could hear in the crowd, people were not happy, and the comments on these videos also really unimpressed and really didn't understand why Shirley was reacting this way. Like, why would she talk to someone in the crowd like that? Truly, in the scheme of things in life, he wasn't really doing anything, but obviously he had a symbol of something that she hated. It really did trigger such an emotive reaction to the situation. And what is to me really interesting is someone puts literally in the comments of this video that she would have loved the Metallica concert then, where there is people with lots of beach balls, and it seems to be like a thing that people really love and enjoy doing. So it just really kind of seemed confusing, and I was also confused. I was like, is there something that like I'm missing? Like, I don't get, because I'm not in the alternate music festival scene. Like, am I missing something like this? Is there some symbol that the beach ball has that I don't know about because I listen to Taylor Swift? I tried to look into it and I couldn't really find anything, but if you guys know anything about that, do please put in the comments, because it is kind of still a big question mark that I have over the situation. And I guess the only thing I could kind of conclude is that it's almost like a identity thing, right? And like going to the beach is not like, doesn't really fit in with the identity of rock, I guess, for Shirley. And I don't know if that is a common thing for people. I feel like in Australia and New Zealand, maybe it's a little bit different because it's literally summer. That's why they had a beach ball. And what is even crazier about why this guy had a beach ball is because a different band had thrown beach balls into the crowd. So I found this article on musicfeed.com.au, and this article literally says, myself and members of fellow Aussie band Yours Truly and Forever Ends Here were the ones who originally tossed the offending balls into the main stage crowd at the behest of lineup super subs Stand Atlantic, appropriately during their banger blank on the beach. And I'm not gonna lie, good times were had by all. The beach balls were topical to the blank on the beach song. Like, it made sense. And so then Bonnie from Stand Atlantic wrote on her IG story, love you Shirls, bad news for you, cause we planned beach balls for every show. It ain't gonna be so serious. We are playing at a summer festival in a country that named a boat Fairy McFairy Face. Sincerely, a fellow beach hater. And so it turns out that the guy that had the beach ball had it because of a previous band that had performed and thrown them out into the crowd as like a fun, interactive, topical, on theme, little fun thing to do at a festival that is happening in summertime in a country that is very beach centric. Like, I feel like even if you hate the beach, you probably hang out around pools in Australia, you probably play with beach balls. I feel like at the end of the day, even if you hate the beach, like, you would still have fun playing with beach balls and floaty devices at a festival because it's hot, it's like the summery vibe, like it's not that deep or that serious. And so that is how the guy got the beach ball. But I was really wondering, I was like, I need to know who this guy is that Shirley yelled at. I need to know his take on the whole situation, and because I had seen in several comments that he was a genuine fan of Garbage. And so I eventually found this article on bluntmagazine.com.au, and it says, exclusive, a beach ball guy breaks silence. It went dark. I was scared. And so this is the guy that Shirley Manson yelled at. And it turns out that what people were saying was true. This guy's name is Ben, and he is known as a gig pig, or I guess a gig pig, which is basically, I guess, just someone who loves festivals and loves Garbage and has been a fan of Garbage for nearly 30 years. He truly is a fan. It says that he went and saw them for the first time in 1996. So he has been a fan of Shirley for half of her life nearly, and has been going to their concerts a lot. Finding out this information, I do unfortunately think makes it so much worse for Shirley. Like, there's no way that you could really justify that outburst that she had, and there's no way that you could really like say, oh, but it's, funny. Like, no one was laughing. But this is some quotes from the article itself. I was jumping up and down with the ball in the air, but only per song. He says, waving the ball to try and get her attention, trying to get into the festival atmosphere and show you're having a good time. How many times have you seen beach balls at music festivals? Then Manson turned on him. All of a sudden she's performing and then turns all of her attention to me out of the whole crowd. You and your beach ball waving in the air. You're such a big, important fucking guy with your big fucking ball. I'm so scared of you. I'm so thrilled by you. What a fucking... And then he goes on to say, I thought it was kind of hilarious in a way, and everyone around kind of laughed. I turned and looked around at the other people in the crowd. I thought that was the end of it, but then it wasn't. The second round is where it went dark. And he goes on to say, like, it was scary. Was she trying to turn the crowd onto me? Was someone going to blindside punch me out? Left, right, looking around, who's around me? Is someone coming to get me? I've worked in hospitality for 20 years. You're always scanning for trouble. In that moment, it was shock, then fear, then hurt. It was really awkward, and a lot of people came up to me towards the end of the set going, that was unbelievable, that was out of line, we don't want that in Australia. Just really such a good point of like, because she was literally saying she wanted him to be hurt. And so if the crowd had been on her side, and if the crowd was like, yeah, you know what, this guy in this hat sucks, like, she truly could have turned enough people in the crowd against him, but luckily the crowd wasn't feeling it at all. The crowd was like, absolutely no. Otherwise it could have been a really dangerous and scary situation. I feel like she doesn't acknowledge that at all, and doesn't really realize the power that she could have had and how easily she could have gotten people to turn on him and made it out like he was being really, like disruptive or upsetting to the people around him, and made people want to hurt him. And it's just like really sad to hear that she would just do this to anyone, not knowing who they are, just because they had a beach ball and she hates the beach. But also further knowing that the reason he had a beach ball is because of a different band from the show, and he was a true, genuine, legitimate fan since 1996, mind you. Truly, the further you looked into the situation, it just got worse and worse. Like, there was no good optic that I could find. There was no way that you could like square that peg into that round hole. It was truly just, she completely lost her shit. I don't know why I'm not swearing when she swore so much. And crazy enough, after the show, she made a post saying that she's making no apologies for calling out the beach ball and for her hate of beach balls, even though she's saying it's for her hate of beach balls, but she's basically saying that she wishes to beat up a random stranger in the crowd enjoying her music. Turns out actually a fan, turns out has a beach ball because of a previous band that performed. Truly diabolical, truly lemon scented. But as I so subtly Easter egged and hinted at in the beginning and throughout this video, this was the first show of this festival in Australia. There were still 2 more shows in Brisbane and Sydney over that weekend. And so I feel like if there's one thing that needs to be stated about Australia, is that they are very serious about being unserious. And so I feel like they just reacted to the situation in the most unserious yet enjoyable and like karmically satisfying way possible. And well, let's just watch some clips from the Sydney and Brisbane shows to see what Australia did and how they reacted to the whole situation. And so as you saw, there were beach balls aplenty. I've got inflatable crocodiles and avocados galore. There were so many floaties, beach balls, beach themed things being thrown around during their sets at those shows, and everyone was just like, you know what, that is exactly how we wish to respond. But we're not going to get violent as Shirley wanted to do. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to not go and see this band that a lot of people were really excited to see. But boy oh boy, bet your sweet cheeks, we are going to be very unserious and very karmic about it. And so that is how the Aussies respond. And I feel like there was such a sense of like national pride that Australia had, and like state pride and different city pride, where like Melbourne was like, thank you Brisbane and Sydney, thank you guys so much for standing up for us, and thank you guys so much for taking so many beach balls to their set as a karma and an unserious way to respond to the situation, and I guess in a way kind of disengage the seriousness and like the violence that she had threatened towards what turned out to be a fan. And I think it was truly the perfect response from the Aussie crowd. But now I wanted to show you guys how she responded to their response, and I'm going to put a version that has subtitles because I think I will probably have to mute some of it, but you'll see anyway. This is how Shirley responded to the beach ball response of it all.
I just have to address your glorious beach balls. They're very impressive. They're very impressive, and not only are they impressive, but they are very, very big. So the only thing that kind of shocks me a little is that there's been more fuss made about me offending beach balls. So whilst the press are busy cooking up some kind of crazy like rhetoric, I would just like to remind you all what actually is important in this life. And maybe a beach ball brings you joy, and for that I apologise. If I upset you about your blessed beach balls, I humbly apologise. However, I would really like it if the governments of the day
I feel like just straight up that is not true. Or maybe I'm just too woke on my side of socials, and I've seen a lot of people talking and maintaining discussions about those topics, and I will give to her that this is something that she is passionate about and is something that she speaks out about. But to try and like make these things connected and to be so anti-violence when you were so outwardly violent towards a fan, and all you can say is, I'm sorry if I offended your beach balls? Huh? Like this comment says, gaslighting 101, and this comment, A, blame the beach balls and not trying to have violence brought on a man at a concert throwing a ball about. It just felt like she was really missing the point and trying to use very serious things that I think she does really feel passionate about, but she is trying to use those things to just dismiss any of her actions, to just dismiss and like gloss over what she was actually trying to incite when she went on that rant. And I think a lot of people were just really unimpressed with her response, and I think her fans were really unimpressed with her response from what I can tell. And some people were saying this is performative. From what I can see, she is pretty passionate about speaking out about things, so I definitely don't want to take that away from her. You can be passionate and speak about that and kind of maybe use the viral moment to speak about these things, but that's not how you apologize. Like, let's be so honest and for real, that's not an apology at all. And apparently she seemed pretty pissed about the beach balls because, as we now know, hates the beach and hates beach balls. But then in another performance, she talks about the fact that it's come out that who she yelled at was a true fan. So let's watch that clip now and that response now.
If that person was indeed who he said he was a garbage fan, I would never have spoken to him the way I did. Yeah. I would like you to bear in mind that everything is contextual. If you're not given any context, you have no idea what went on. Second of all, I've had a 30-year career, and I have never spoken to any fan like that in my life before, except one who spat on me once. He spat on me once, I went nuts, and you know what happened? Is I got a gig as a Terminator on a massive TV show. Thank you to the fakes. Thank you to the true fans. We love you. I'm sorry I lost my cool, but I still hate beach balls, and I always will.
I really feel like I'm missing something with the beach ball hate. The beginning of that sorry was so insincere. The big IF, the big if, and also what she said is categorically, objectively untrue. If that was a true fan, I wouldn't have spoken to them like that. They were a true fan and you did speak to them like that. Huh? Her ending of that speech felt more genuine, felt more sincere. The sorry I lost my cool, like that felt more genuine, but it's almost like in her mind, she hates beach balls so much that a true fan of hers could not have a beach ball. Like, I don't know. I really am hoping that someone understands the beach ball hate lore and has explained it in the comments. And if someone does, I will definitely pin it. I will definitely pin the comment. The one thing I do kind of want to note as well, from what I kind of found during my research, is that a lot of people were bringing up that Shirley has had a lot going on in her personal life. She clearly feels very heavily about what's going on in the world and is, you know, been on this chore for a very long time. And so a lot of people were trying to, I guess, when she says context, add that as a context as to why she lost her cool, as to why she snapped. Also, Australia is very hot. So, you know, sometimes the heat makes people angry. It's also a running theory. But I think like all of those things are true, but the way that she treated that fan for really no reason, just because she hates the beach. I mean, I get it, that sounds annoying, but I don't know. But like the fact that it seems so tricky for her to reflect on the fact that that was really wrong, the fact that this person is a genuine fan, still seems to be a genuine fan, even though they were treated terribly. And like she said, seems to be the second person she's lost her cool at. I think we can definitely acknowledge that context and acknowledge that there's clearly a lot on her mind and she clearly feels a lot of things heavily, but that doesn't then justify you wanting someone in your crowd to have something violent to happen to them, to wish violence upon them, especially when she seems so anti-violence, ? But the final kind of clip I wanted to show you guys was her talking about maybe they're not going to come back to Australia.
And it is a sobering thought for OGs like us. We don't know if we'll come back to Australia, and many of you will be so happy to hear that. But it's always a thrill to come here. We've got first brought down to Australia by the great Michael Gudinski.
These Aussies are so unserious because the top comment is literally a picture of a beach ball crying. But yeah, I think because there was no like reflection, apology, realizing of the hypocrisy, realizing of the really kind of like, I'm sorry if you felt that way, I'm sorry, but the kind of I'm sorry not sorry, Demi Lovato of it all, the doubling down. Yeah, probably people aren't gonna want to see them again, and not even because like they don't like her or the music, but because they don't want someone coming to Australia and inciting violence at a music festival. Like, everyone just wants to have fun at a music festival. Everyone, like I said, spent a lot of money to be there. They just want to have fun. They just want to do that twirly whirly mosh pit thingy. They just want to, throw a beach ball around. They want to make summer memories. They don't want someone attacking random strangers because they have a beach ball and like inciting violence on them and like fingers crossing that someone might them, Sorry, people are just not wanting those vibes. And for that reason, I think people aren't shedding too much of a tear about the whole situation. But that is kind of the whole beach ballification situation of it all. And so I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you see this go down on socials? Do you have any insider info? Do you know the reason for the beach ball hate? Yet at Metallica concerts, there's beach ball love. I don't know. I would love to know all your thoughts in the comments down below. So please, please, please let me know. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stay till the end, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram. And I'll link my vlog channel down below. And YouTube should be recommending another one of my videos on the screen right now. But don't you worry, guys, because I'm not funny there either. Bye.